Are you teaching my sons to pray? What the hell is this? A church? William Harrington's voice exploded down the hallway like a bomb, and for a moment, time seemed to stop inside the softly lit bedroom. Luke and Noah, the 5-year-old twin boys, sat frozen on the rug, their small hands still clasped in prayer. Across from them, kneeling in her simple gray house shoes, was Lakisha Johnson. Her lips had just finished leading them through a gentle whisper, a bedtime prayer for their late mother. Before Lakisha could say another word, William stepped into the room like a storm, his 6'2" frame brimming with fury, dark eyes flashing. In his hand was the mail he had been sorting through, and without thinking, he hurled the stack of unopened envelopes and a nearby hardcover book toward the floor at her feet. One skidded and hit Lakisha's shin, making her flinch and stumble back. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he barked. "Are you teaching my sons to pray? What is this? Some kind of holy crusade? This is my house, and I will not tolerate religious brainwashing under my roof. If this story touches you, hit that like button, subscribe for more heartwarming tales, and comment below. Where are you watching from, and what time is it?" Lakisha's breath hitched, her back pressing against the wall as she raised her hands in a shaky surrender. "Mr. Harrington, please. I didn't mean any harm. They were just talking about their mom, and they miss her so damn much. I thought if they whispered something up to the sky, it'd ease the ache a bit." Her voice cracked, eyes darting to the boys who stared wide-eyed, tiny fists clenched. William's jaw tightened, his tie still knotted from a grueling board meeting downtown. He wasn't supposed to be home this early. Hell, he rarely made it back before the kids were tucked in. But tonight, a deal had tanked, and he'd stormed out of the office, craving the quiet of his sprawling estate on the outskirts of the city. The place was a fortress, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and walls lined with abstract art that screamed success. But success didn't fill the void left by Sarah, his wife, gone too soon from a car wreck that replayed in his nightmares. He shoved those thoughts down, like always. Logic over emotion. That's how he built his tech empire. Cold calculations, not fairy tales. "I don't want excuses," he snapped, pointing a finger like a loaded gun. "You knew the rules. No God talk, no heaven bullshit. We deal in facts here. Reality, not some pie-in-the-sky nonsense that sets them up for disappointment." Luke jumped up first, his little voice quivering. "Dad, she just said we could talk to Mom. Like, if we say stuff out loud, maybe she hears it somehow." Noah nodded, wiping his nose on his sleeve. "Not churchy stuff, just feelings. That's all." Lakisha's heart twisted as she watched the fear flicker in their eyes. The same fear she'd seen when she first started 6 months ago. Back then, the boys were ghosts in their own home, tiptoeing around their dad like he was a ticking bomb. William buried himself in work, leaving her to pick up the pieces. Scraped knees, bedtime stories, and the endless questions about why Mommy wasn't coming back. She'd slipped into the role easily, her own losses making her soft, where he was steel. Losing her brother young had taught her that grief didn't bow to reason. It needed space to breathe. "I wasn't preaching, sir," she said, her tone steady despite the tremble in her knees. "Just giving them a way to not feel so alone. I'm sorry if I crossed a line." William's face hardened, veins bulging in his neck. "You did cross it. Big time." He turned away, rubbing his temples as the room spun with the weight of it all. The boys' pleas echoed in his ears, but he pushed them aside. He couldn't let this slide. Not in his house. Not after everything. The estate loomed silent around them, its luxury a hollow shell. Outside, the manicured lawn stretched under floodlights, but inside, the air thickened with unspoken pain. William glanced at the family photo on the nightstand. Sarah's smile frozen in time, mocking his failure to move on. He clenched his fists, fighting the urge to shatter it. Instead, he wheeled back on Lakisha. "Pack your stuff. You're out by morning," the boys wailed, clinging to her skirt. "No, Dad, please!" Luke sobbed, his face buried in the fabric. Noah just stared, tears streaming silently. Lakisha knelt, gently prying their hands free. "It's okay, sweeties. Go on now." Her voice broke as she nudged them toward the door. They bolted, footsteps fading down the hall. Alone with her, William's rage simmered to a cold burn. "You had one job. Keep them fed, Safe, grounded, not this crap. She stood tall, wiping her cheek. I care about those boys, Mr. Harrington, more than a paycheck. But if that's how you see it, fine. She turned, shoulders squared, and walked out without another word. William slumped against the wall, the room suddenly too big, too empty. He picked up the scattered mail, his hands shaking. Deep down, a crack formed in his armor. The first whisper that maybe, just maybe, his iron grip was choking the life out of what little family he had left. But he shoved it down. Tomorrow things would reset. Logic would win. It always did. Or so he thought. Lakisha's eyes stung as she backed away, her palms still up like she could ward off the storm raging in William's face. Mr. Harrington, please, don't do this. The boys, they need someone soft in their lives. You work all hours and I just wanted to help them feel a little less lost. Her voice wavered, but she held his gaze, refusing to crumble under the weight of his glare. William's chest heaved, the echo of his outburst hanging heavy in the air. The bedroom felt smaller now, the walls closing in with the boys sobbing, still ringing from down the hall. He paced a tight circle, kicking aside an envelope that had skidded under the bed. Help? This ain't help. This is poisoning their minds with crap that'll break them when reality hits. I built everything they have on hard facts, not wishes and prayers. You think Sarah would have wanted this? Hell no. He stopped short, Sarah's name slipping out like a punch to his own gut. It always did that, cut through his defenses, leaving him raw. But he shook it off, focusing on Lakisha's flinch when the book had grazed her leg. Part of him registered the bruise forming, but anger drowned it out. You're done. Get your things. Luke and Noah burst back in, faces streaked with tears, clinging to Lakisha's legs like lifelines. Don't make her go, Dad, Luke wailed, his small body shaking. Noah buried his face in her skirt, mumbling, she makes the bad dreams go away. Lakisha crouched, wrapping her arms around them, her own tears spilling now. Hey, it's gonna be all right, you two. Remember what I said? Strong hearts beat through the tough stuff. She kissed their foreheads, inhaling their shampoo scent one last time. Standing, she faced William again. I promise, I won't say another word about it. Just let me stay for them. He crossed his arms, jaw set like granite. No, rules are rules. You broke 'em. Deep down, a flicker of doubt crept in, the way the boys lit up around her, the laughter he'd overheard from his home office. But admitting that meant admitting he wasn't enough, and William Harrington didn't do weakness. The boys tugged at his pants. Please, Dad, we'll be good. No more prayers, Noah begged, his voice tiny and broken. William knelt, pulling them close, but they stiffened in his arms. Enough. Bed. Now. His tone brooked no argument, but inside it killed him, the fear in their eyes aimed at him. Lakisha guided the boys out, whispering comforts until they vanished into their room. Alone again, she turned back. You're hurting them more than you know. Her words landed softly but sharply. He waved her off. Out by dawn. He stormed downstairs, slamming his office door, the sound reverberating through the empty halls. Lakisha moved like a ghost through the house, packing her bag in the guest quarters. No fuss, no drama, just quiet efficiency honed from years of bouncing between jobs. Always the outsider patching up other folks' messes. She paused at the kitchen counter, pulling out a small shoebox from her purse. Inside, 2 crayon drawings from the boys. One showed her under a starry sky, holding hands with Luke and Noah, a smiling woman in the clouds above, their mom. The other, a cozy bedtime scene, her reading to them under a moon. She added a note in neat cursive. Mr. Harrington, I'm sorry for overstepping. Wasn't pushing religion, just a way for them to hold on to love. Grief's too big for little shoulders. Take care of those hearts. Lakisha. She left it there, slipped out the back door before sunrise, the estate's gates clicking shut behind her like a final nail. Morning hit William like a freight train, head pounding from a sleepless night, nursing bourbon in his office. He shuffled to the kitchen, brewing coffee black and strong, ignoring the silence that screamed louder than any boardroom brawl. The boys didn't bounce down for breakfast like usual. No sleepy grins, no demands for pancakes. He found the box after pouring his mug, lifted the lid, scanned the drawings. His throat tightened at Sarah's stick figure face in the clouds, the boy's innocent scrawl labeling, "Mom hears us." Then the note. He read it twice, slammed the lid shut. "Damn her," he muttered, shoving it into a drawer, turning them soft, filling their heads with junk. But as the day dragged, the house turned tomb quiet. Luke and Noah picked at their cereal, eyes downcast, answering his questions with shrugs. "You okay, buds?" he asked, forcing a smile. They nodded, but Noah's lip quivered. "Miss Lakisha gone?" "Yeah, but we'll find someone new." William ruffled their hair, but they pulled away. By evening, the boys holed up in their room, toys untouched. William peeked in, heart sinking at their blank stares out the window. He blamed Lakisha. Had to. "She messed him up," he grumbled over another drink. But alone in the dark, doubt gnawed harder. Their joy had dimmed, and it wasn't just her leaving. It was him, his rules, his walls, his refusal to let anything soft in. He cracked the drawer and pulled out the box again, stared at the drawings until his vision blurred. Maybe she was right. Maybe grief needed more than logic. But admitting that'd crack him wide open. Tomorrow he'd fix it his way. Hire someone new, stick to the plan. Little did he know, the emptiness was just starting to echo. The estate woke up hollow the next morning, sunlight slicing through the blinds like it didn't belong. William dragged himself to the kitchen, the shoebox note burning a hole in his pocket. He yanked open the fridge, grabbing eggs and bacon, figuring a hot breakfast might kickstart the day. "Boys, come on down," he hollered up the stairs, his voice echoing off the marble like a stranger's. Footsteps shuffled slowly, Luke and Noah appearing in their pajamas, eyes puffy and downcast. They slid into their seats without a word. Poking at the plates, he set down. "Eat up, guys, we've got a big day ahead." William forced cheer, flipping bacon that sizzled too loudly in the quiet. Noah pushed his fork around. Not hungry. Luke just stared at his juice, swirling it like a storm in a glass. William's gut twisted. "Come on, it's your favorite. Crispy bacon, just how Mom used to—" He cut off, the word Mom hanging like smoke. The boys froze, then Luke's lip trembled. "Miss Lakisha made it better," he sighed, rubbing his neck. "We'll find someone new. Better." But the words tasted like lies. The house felt wrong. Too big. Too sterile. The kind of silence that screamed. No giggles over cartoons. No toy cars zooming across the floor. Just this void sucking the air out. By noon, William canceled his meetings. "Clear the week," he barked into his phone at his assistant. "Family stuff." He hung up, staring at the boys curled on the couch, blankly watching TV. "Hey, let's make pancakes. From scratch. Fun, right?" They shrugged. He hauled out bowls, flour flying everywhere as he mixed. The first batch burned black, smoke setting off the alarm. Luke coughed, waving his hand. "It stinks." Noah giggled faintly. The first sound all day, but it died quickly. William plated the survivors, drizzling syrup. "Dig in." They nibbled, but their eyes stayed dull. He sat between them, awkward as hell. "Tell me about your day yesterday, before, you know." "Miss Lakisha read us dinosaurs," Luke mumbled. "She does voices." William nodded, throat tight. "I can do that." He grabbed a book from the shelf, cracking it open. His voice came out flat, stumbling over words. The boys listened politely, but no spark. No belly laughs like with her. The afternoon dragged. He tried the backyard, tossing a ball, but they missed catches, wandering off to poke sticks in the dirt. "You guys okay?" he asked, squatting down. Noah shrugged. "Miss her." "Who? Mom or—" "Both." Luke kicked a pebble. But Lakisha made it hurt less. William's chest ached, a crack widening. He herded them inside for cartoons, plopping on the couch. Laughed at jokes that fell flat, but their silence gnawed at him. By dinner, takeout pizza sat cold on the table. The boys picked toppings off, eyes glazing over. That night, alone in his office, William swirled bourbon, the amber liquid catching the lamplight. She screwed him up, he muttered. But replaying the scene, her flinch, the boys' pleas, it hit different. They weren't against him. They were scared of him. His rules, his walls. Sarah had been the warmth, the glue. Without her, he was just the provider, the enforcer. And now without Lakisha, the house was a tomb. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through contacts. Her number stared back. Thumb hovered. Screw it, he dialed. It rang twice. Hello? Lakisha's voice was cautious, like she expected trouble. It's William Harrington. He cleared his throat, pacing. Look, about last night, I overreacted, blew up, scared you, humiliated you, and the boys, they're wrecks without you. Pause, and didn't think you'd call. Me neither. He leaned against the desk. But they're shut down. No laughs, no nothing. I tried. Pancakes, books. But I suck at this soft stuff. They need you. She sighed. I don't want to walk back into a minefield. No minds, your terms. No rules on what you say or do with them. I'm changing. His voice cracked, admitting it aloud. Quiet stretched. For the boys? Yeah, and maybe for me. He swallowed hard. I'll think on it. No promise, but no hang-up. He exhaled. Thanks, just consider it. They said goodbye, the line clicking dead. William sank into his chair, heart pounding like after a killer pitch. For the first time, doubt shifted to hope. Faint, but real. 3 days later, Lakisha stood on the porch, suitcase in hand. William opened the door himself. No suit, just jeans and a button-down, eyes tired but open. You came. She stepped in, scanning the space. It felt different, less rigid. Gasps echoed from the stairs. Miss Lakisha! The boys barreled down, wrapping around her legs. She laughed, crouching for hugs. You two sprouted like weeds already. William watched, guilt etching his face. As the boys dragged her to the kitchen for cookies, he hung back. I've replayed that night 100 times. It wasn't just the prayer. It was seeing peace in their eyes. Peace I couldn't give. She nodded. It was letting them grieve, feel, believe love sticks around. He lowered his head. Can you forgive? She studied him. Yeah, but it's their hearts that count. That evening, they sat on the rug, William awkwardly between the beds. The boys shared a story about Mom, giggles bubbling up. Lakisha smiled faintly. William listened, really listened, a wall crumbling. For once, the house breathed, sharing memories, seeking healing. It wasn't fixed, but it started. Lakisha's return hit like a fresh breeze through a stuffy room, but William still felt the storm clouds hanging. She dove right back in, whipping up oatmeal with cinnamon swirls, the kitchen filling with that homey smell that made the boys perk up for the first time in days. Eat up, you two. Can't conquer the day on empty tanks, she said, sliding bowls in front of Luke and Noah. The twins dug in, spoons clinking, small smiles cracking their faces. William hovered by the coffee maker, watching. Thanks for coming back, he muttered, pouring a mug. House was a ghost town without you. She nodded, wiping her hands on a towel. For them, always. Her eyes met his. No grudge, just quiet resolve. That afternoon, William cleared his schedule again. Third day in a row, his assistant blowing up his phone with urgent emails. Screw it. He grabbed the boys' coats. Let's hit the park. Kites, swings, the works. Luke's eyes lit. With Miss Lakisha? Yep. William glanced at her. If she's game. She grinned. Lead the way, boss. At the park, leaves crunched underfoot, the air crisp with fall. The boys raced ahead, kites trailing like wild flags. Lakisha and William walked more slowly, the wind tugging at their sleeves. Sarah loved this spot, he said out of nowhere, staring at the lake. Brought him here before they could walk. Lakisha tilted her head. She sounds like she knew how to soak in the good stuff. He nodded, throat tight. I was always too busy. Deals, meetings, figured providing was enough. A kite dipped, and Noah yelped in delight as it soared back up. William's chest loosened a fraction. Back home, dinner was a team effort. Lakisha chopping veggies, William grilling chicken that didn't burn for once. The boys set the table, chattering about school. Over bites, Luke piped up, "Can we visit Mom's grave?" Miss Lakisha said it's okay to talk there. William froze, fork midway. "You talked about that?" She shrugged. "Just listening to him. Grief needs air." He set his fork down, nodding slowly. "Tomorrow, we'll go." The cemetery sat quiet under gray skies, the drive there thick with silence. William parked, hands gripping the wheel a beat too long. Lakisha held Noah's hand, Luke clutching a bouquet of daisies, Sarah's favorite. They walked the path, gravel crunching until the headstone. Sarah Harrington, beloved wife and mother. William knelt first, brushing dirt off the marble. "Been too long," his voice rasped. The boys laid flowers, whispering, "Hi, Mom. We miss you." Noah added, "We talk to you sometimes. Hope you hear." Lakisha stood back, giving space, but her presence anchored them. William's shoulders shook once, silently. "I screwed up, Sarah. Tried to be strong, but shut him out." He glanced at the boys. "Learning now." On the way home, the car buzzed lighter, boys recounting park antics, Lakisha laughing. William cracked a smile, real for the first time. Fall festival rolled in that weekend, the air buzzing with caramel apples and hay bales. The boys tugged them through crowds, eyes wide at the corn maze. "Team up," Noah yelled. Lakisha grabbed his hand. "Us against them." William mock glared. "You're on." Inside the stalks, laughter echoed as they hit dead ends, the boys shrieking. Emerging victorious, Lakisha high-fived them. "Told you we'd win." Over cider, William watched the joy, pure, unforced. It's what she wanted." Lakisha nodded. "You're getting there." But peace was shattered on Monday morning. A sharp knock echoed through the estate. William opened the door to a woman in a sharp suit, pearls glinting. Tamika Lewis, Sarah's estranged sister, now a hot-shot real estate lawyer with a shark smile. "William," she said, voice syrupy. "Long time." He stiffened. "Tamika, what brings you here?" She stepped in uninvited, heels clicking. "Family. Specifically, my nephews." Her eyes flicked around, appraising. "Heard about your little blow-up with the help. Sounds unstable." His jaw clenched. "That's none of your business." "Oh, but it is." She pulled papers from her bag. "Sarah confided in me before the end. Worried you'd turn cold, shut the boys out. She wanted me involved if things went south." William snatched the docs. Petition for partial custody. "You're kidding? You ghosted her funeral. Haven't seen the kids once." Tamika's eyes narrowed. "People change. And from what I hear, you're emotionally bankrupt. No warmth, just rules. Courts love stability." Lakisha appeared from the kitchen, boys peeking behind. "Everything okay?" Tamika smirked. "The nanny? Cute, but blood's thicker." William's blood boiled. "Get out. This ain't happening." She left with a parting shot. "See you in court." The door slammed, leaving the air poisoned. William paced, papers crumpling in his fist. "She's bluffing. Has to be." Lakisha touched his arm. "We fight it. Together." The boys hugged her legs, fear back in their eyes. William knelt. "No one's taking you. Promise." But inside, panic surged. Tamika's accusations hit too close, exposing cracks he thought were healing. Drama brewed, but for now the family huddled closer, sparks of hope flickering against the coming storm. The courthouse loomed like a gray beast downtown, its steps slick from morning rain. William tugged at his tie, pacing the lobby while Lakisha sat steady on a bench, flipping through notes. "This is bullshit," he muttered, checking his watch. "Tamika's got no case, just smoke and mirrors." Lakisha glanced up, her voice calm. "She's got ambition. That's her weapon. But we've got truth." The boys were with a sitter back home, too young for this circus, but their faces haunted him, wide-eyed questions about the mean lady replaying in his head. Inside the courtroom, wood paneling gleamed under harsh lights. Judge Elena Ramirez banged the gavel, her gaze sharp as a hawk's. "Case of Lewis versus Harrington. Custody petition. Proceed." Tamika's lawyer, A slick suit with a sharp grin stood first. Your Honor, Mr. Harrington's home is unstable. Emotional neglect, rigid rules, no room for grief. My client, Ms. Lewis, Sarah Harrington's sister, has evidence of private talks where Sarah expressed fears about William's coldness. She wanted family involvement if he couldn't step up. Tamika leaned forward, pearls catching the light, her face a mask of fake concern. Sarah told me everything. He buries emotions and works nonstop. Those boys need warmth, not a drill sergeant. William's fists clenched under the table. Lakisha squeezed his knee, quickly grounding him. His lawyer countered. Baseless claims. Mr. Harrington provides a loving home, stable finances, involved now more than ever. But Tamika's side dropped bombs. Emails from Sarah, vague worries about William's walls. Then witness statements, old nannies spilling about his absences. He's improved lately, one admitted, thanks to the new help. Judge Ramirez nodded. Evidence noted. Mr. Harrington? He stood, voice steady but fire underneath. I admit I was lost after Sarah, buried in work. But that's changed. The boys are happy, healing. Tamika snorted softly. Happy? You fired the nanny for praying with them. Sounds unstable to me. The room tensed. William's lawyer jumped in. Irrelevant. She's back now. But the damage stuck. The judge eyed him. We'll recess for lunch. Reconvene at 1. Outside, William exploded in the hall. She's twisting everything. Sarah never wanted her involved. She hated Tamika's games. Lakisha pulled him aside. Breathe. We need more than words. Show the change. He rubbed his face. How? Court's all paper and talk. Go home. Dig through Sarah's stuff. Maybe she left something. He bolted to the estate, heart pounding. Up in the attic, dust choked the air as he ripped open boxes. Old photos, letters, then a leather journal, Sarah's handwriting curling across pages. He sank to the floor, flipping through. March 10th. Boys miss me already. Tests say it's bad. Pray, William softens. He needs someone kind to crack his shell. His breath caught. April entry. Talk to Tamika. Same old drama. Don't trust her with the kids. Hope a gentle soul shows up for them, like a guardian angel. Tears blurred the ink. Sarah saw it, knew he'd need help. Lakisha fit perfectly. He clutched the journal, a lifeline. Back at court, his lawyer entered it as evidence. Mrs. Harrington's own words contradict the petition. She distrusted Ms. Lewis and hoped for emotional support in the home. Tamika's face twisted. That's cherry picking. Sarah wanted family, blood family. The judge scanned pages. Compelling, but let's hear from the household. Lakisha took the stand, posture straight, voice even. I've seen Mr. Harrington change, from distant to present. We visit Sarah's grave and share stories. The boys laugh again. Prosecutor grilled her. You were fired for religious stuff. Pushing beliefs? No, she shot back. Just comfort. Grief ain't logical. Needs heart. William watched, pride swelling. That night back home, the boys sensed the tension, clinging extra. Is the lady taking us? Noah whispered at bedtime. No way, bud. William tucked them in, Lakisha hovering by the door. She nodded. Let's show 'em peace. They knelt together. First time for him. Boys whispered thanks to Mom for the home. William hesitated, then murmured. Help us stay strong. Warmth spread, awkward but real. The next day, the court ramped up. Tamika testified, painting William as ice cold. Sarah feared he'd raise robots, not kids. His turn. I was broken, but Lakisha helped me see. Strengths in facing pain, not hiding. He choked up. Sarah's journal proved she wanted hope in our home. We've got that now. Lakisha followed, detailing changes. Park days, grave visits, prayers easing grief. It's not perfect, but it's healing. Boys feel safe, loved. Per the prosecutors. You're the nanny. Biased. I'm family, she said firmly. Blood doesn't make that. Actions do. Judge leaned in. The room electric. William's heart hammered. High stakes, raw truth laid bare. Tamika glared daggers, but cracks showed in her facade. As arguments wrapped, the air crackled with climax. Words about healing hitting hard. Family on the line. William gripped the rail, praying silently for the first time. hoping it was enough. The courtroom air thickened like molasses as Judge Ramirez flipped through Sarah's journal, her brow furrowing. William's pulse hammered in his ears, sweat beading under his collar despite the AC blasting. Tamika sat ramrod straight, arms crossed, her lawyer whispering frantic notes. Lakisha squeezed William's hand under the table, quick, reassuring, her calm the only anchor in the storm. "These entries are illuminating," the judge said, voice cutting the tension. Mrs. Harrington explicitly distrusted the petitioner. Quote, "Tamika's games scare me. Don't let her near the boys if I'm gone." And here, pray someone gentle steps in for William. He needs help thawing. Tamika shot up. "Objection. That's hearsay. Sarah was sick, not thinking straight." "Overruled," Ramirez snapped. "Journals admissible as insight into her wishes. Proceed with closing." William's lawyer stood tall. "Your Honor, this proves Sarah wanted emotional growth in the home, not outside interference. Mr. Harrington's evolved. Family outings, open grief. The boys thrive." Tamika's side fired back. "Evolution. He fired the nanny for a prayer. That's not stable. That's control freak." The room murmured. William's gut churned, memories flashing. Sarah's laugh, her soft pleas for him to loosen up. He leaned forward, whispering to his lawyer, "Let me speak." On the stand again, he clutched the journal like a shield. "Sarah saw through me, knew I'd hide behind work, rules, but she hoped for change, and it came. Lakisha brought that gentleness. We pray now, not 'cause it's magic, but 'cause it helps us face the hurt head on. Strength ain't bearing pain, it's digging it up, staring it down." Tamika scoffed. "Convenient turnaround. Where's proof?" Lakisha rose next, her steps steady to the stand. "Proof's in the everyday. Boys used to tiptoe around him, scared of his moods. Now, they climb his lap, spill stories about Mom without fear. We visit her grave, laugh over old photos. It's messy, real healing." Prosecutor circled. "You're biased. Employee, right?" "Was," she corrected, eyes locking. "Now, family. Saw him crack open, burnt pancakes, turning to shared jokes, prayers easing nightmares. That's change you feel, not fake." William watched, a swell rising in his chest. Her words painted it vividly, the shift from cold estate to warm home. The judge nodded slowly, absorbing. Closings wrapped, the room electric. Ramirez recessed for deliberation, the wait stretching eternal. William paced the hall, Lakisha by his side. "If we lose—" "We won't," she said firmly. "Truth's on our side." Back in, the gavel banged. "After review, petition denied. Evidence shows a stable, evolving home. Ms. Lewis, blood doesn't trump care. Mr. Harrington retains full custody." Tamika's face crumpled, storming out without a word. William exhaled sharply, knees buckling. His lawyer clapped his back. "Congrats!" But victory hit hollow at first, relief mixed with the raw scrape of exposed wounds. Outside, rain pattered on the steps. Lakisha hugged him quickly. "You did it. We did." He pulled back, eyes searching hers. Sarah's words, "She basically described you. Gentle soul cracking my shell." Lakisha smiled faintly. She knew what y'all needed. Driving home, silence settled comfortably. Boys mobbed them at the door, sitter waving by. "Did we win?" Luke asked, jumping. William scooped them up. "Yeah, buds, we're staying put." Cheers erupted, but he caught Lakisha's eye. Deeper currents swirling. That night, after tucking the twins in with stories that drew real giggles, he found her in the kitchen, stirring tea. "Can't sleep?" She shook her head. "Adrenaline crash." He leaned on the counter. "Me too, but thank you. For testifying, for seeing the mess and sticking." Her mug clinked down. "Wasn't hard. You've changed, for real." He stepped closer, the air charging. "Used to think hope was for suckers, weak. But watching you with the boys, facing this crap together, it's strength. Real deal." She met his gaze unguarded. "Takes guts to admit that." Their hands brushed, lingering. No rush, just a spark, Hevong flickering to life. He cleared his throat. "Want to sit? Talk?" "Yeah." They moved to the porch, Stars peeking through clouds. Words flowed easily, her losses, his walls crumbling. Laughter mixed with quiet truths, building something tentative, true. By dawn, the turning point solidified. Not just the win, but his full surrender to hope, love budding with Lakisha. The estate breathed easier, a new chapter etched in open hearts. Victory buzzed through the estate like electricity after the courthouse win, but William didn't pop champagne. Instead, he hit the ground running, blueprints sprawled across the kitchen table, Lakisha leaning over them with a marker in hand. "This corner for the reading nook," she said, circling a spot. "Soft rugs, beanbags, a place where kids can spill their guts without judgment." He nodded, sketching quickly. "And over here, art stations. Let them paint out the tough stuff." The old carriage house out back was their canvas, dusty relic turning into a community hub for kids needing more than ABCs. Emotional smarts, hope building. "Garden room," Lakisha named it, eyes lighting up. "Plant seeds of heart stuff." Contractors swarmed days later, hammers banging rhythmically as walls came down. William rolled up his sleeves, hauling lumber alongside pros, sweat mixing with purpose. Lakisha directed traffic, her laugh cutting through sawdust. "Watch that beam. Don't want to squash dreams before they start." The boys dove in, helping with kid-sized tools, painting murals of stars and families. "This for other kids like us?" Noah asked, smearing blue on his cheek. "Yeah, bud," William said, ruffling his hair. "Place to feel safe. Talk about missing folks." Luke grinned, like we do now. Evenings shifted too. Dinners together, no more takeout trays in the office. Lakisha's gumbo simmered, filling the air with spice that warmed bones. Over bowls, stories flowed. William sharing Sarah's quirky habits, like dancing in socks to old Motown. "She dragged me in, even when I griped." Lakisha chuckled. "Bet you secretly loved it." He met her eyes, a spark jumping. "Maybe." The boys yawned off to bed, leaving them alone on the porch, stars winking overhead. Talk turned personal, her brother's loss, his buried grief. Hands brushed more often, lingering electric. One night after tucking the twins in, he found her in the kitchen, humming softly. "That tune, gospel?" She nodded. "Old habit. Soothes the soul." He stepped close. "You've soothed mine." His voice dropped, raw. "Didn't see it coming. You cracking me open." She turned, breath catching. "Took two. You let me in." Their lips met tentatively, then sure. Fire igniting a slow burning. No rush, just truth unfolding. "This real?" he whispered. "Feels like it," she said, fingers tracing his jaw. The garden room opened on a sunny Saturday, ribbon cut with cheers from neighbors. Kids streamed in, wide-eyed at the colorful space. Lakisha led a circle time, voices sharing dreams. William watched from the door, pride swelling. His empire now included this, hearts over profits. Afternoon brought chaos, paint fights, story swaps. A shy girl whispered to Lakisha about her absent dad. "It's okay to miss him," Lakisha said, hugging gently. William joined, reading to a group, his once stiff voice warming with dinosaur roars that drew laughs. By evening, the place emptied, but energy lingered. Boys helped clean, buzzing. "Is this our spot too?" Luke asked. "Always," Lakisha said. Homebound, William pulled her aside in the yard under blooming cherries. "Marry me. Not flashy. Just us, building this life." She blinked tears. "Thought you'd never ask." They kissed deeply, boys whooping from the window. Family nights cemented. Movies with popcorn wars. William in silly hats. Thanksgiving hit warm. Turkey carved. Thanks shared around the table. "For new starts," he toasted, eyes on her. Christmas twinkled with lights strung high, gifts under the tree. Boys unwrapped bikes, screeching with joy. Lakisha got a locket from him, a photo of them all inside. "Our crew," he said. She slipped a ring on his finger later, a simple band. "Partners in this mess." Spring bloomed, garden room thriving, classes packed, parents raving. William balanced boardrooms with volunteer shifts, teaching kids about grit through stories of his failures. Lakisha ran the show, her light drawing folks in. One quiet evening, porch swing creaking, boys asleep inside. "Who'd have thought?" he murmured, arm around her. She leaned in. "Love shows up in funny ways, turns scars to stories." He nodded, peace settling deep. The estate pulsed alive now, laughter echoing, belonging woven tight. Pain lingered in corners, but joy drowned it out. Love, compassion, facing fears head on. It flipped wounds to wins. Their family, forged in fire, stood unbreakable, a testament to hearts daring to heal. This story shows us that true strength isn't about bearing your pain or sticking to rigid rules. It's about facing your emotions head on, embracing hope and compassion, and letting love turn wounds into unbreakable bonds. In the end, grief doesn't define us. It's how we open up to new connections that rebuild our world. What about you? Has there ever been a time when a simple act of faith or vulnerability changed everything for you and your family? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your stories could inspire someone else. Stick around for our next video, where we'll dive into another gripping tale of unexpected redemption and second chances that'll leave you thinking long after it's over. Thanks a ton for watching, folks. It means the world. Catch you in the next one.